be impatient with them, I try to. But you got room temperature IQ. Expecting a lecture from these idiot guys who got opinions not worthless what's under my shoe. Y'all tripping on truth when we call it out. Cause y'all people as goofy as I'll get out. If y'all with them and not with you, I'd sit out. Cause every rapper's on the list now, man, at a pitch count. Throwing heaters like my soul's beat up. No people focus on hoaxes in the shows he book. And I'm hoping to open doors and I got flows and such. But I know that I'll be opposing to the goal. I must start attacking. Ain't lacking my brains lashed in. Same way that I game is the same way up the back end. All the pain that I bring up is like the bane to the Batman. I'm back cracking. Whack tricks claiming they rap bands and backtracking. Give a crap about the what's his face. Only thing you out rapping is a sandwich at Subway. And y'all just so happen to welcome beef on my lunch plate. And you are a disaster and this can only go one way. And you steady flashing guns in your music vids. And I know you do it for the fun, but what you doing is abusing every rule. Of course you can use it quick. You're showing the world you don't know what you are doing, kid.
Why would you waste your time when you can be so much more, so much more, so much more? Why would you go in blind when you can be so much more, so much more? I can only be great.
One thing that I want you to see is everybody is ignorant. It's only when you speak on what you don't know you become slow, and that ignorance crosses into stupidity. Yet I'm still spending my energy debating enemies that tend to be idiots, really inept politically, that don't have the depth or wit of me. Oh well, it'll be co-chance in hell, so riddle me this. How am I supposed to take you serious when all of your positions are socially expedient? Thinking you a rebel, but at most you obedient. Opposing opinions make folks be belligerent. A cult and religious, so you know what's on CNN and vote what you told by the folks that got a sentence missing. Oh, you a hypocrite and I'm in awe, cause the diversity you advocate is not in thought. You get away with it cause you placed in a freaking chamber with echoes ringing, surrounded by a bunch of brainless. Your aim is yet all the same shame cause you ain't slick, afraid to relate other things cause you nameless. Tainted, weak, and pathetic, you epitomize politic ties cause you scared to be criticized. Ancient trick, you ain't say this, you afraid to unplug from the matrix. Basic.
Why would you waste your time when you can be so much more, so much more, so much more? Why would you go in blind when you can be so much more, so much more? I can only be great. I can only be great.
Young Ripper. And this is going to be kind of like a Young Ripper appreciation video. Big news from Young Ripper 5'9" today. Huge news. We've been waiting. Anybody who's been following for news on his comic book release, if you don't know, that's where the big news is coming from. His comic book release is coming Monday. Well, his pre-order, and he's got it set up. He's done a lot of work, put a lot of money up front where he's got the pre-order. It's not like a crowd, funding type of thing where you have to crowdfund and then wait months or even years afterwards, which is nothing wrong with that. But this is coming, ordering. I'm going to be on there Monday morning to order a book. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have ever purchased a comic book in my life. When I think about comics, though, I have fond memories. I never purchased a comic book. Back in the day when I had a little bit of cash, there are certain albums I'll never forget going to the store to buy. One of them is Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, Severance Mall in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. I remember it like it was yesterday, vividly. Colors and everything, almost like I'm there looking around the store this is what, 96 or so? Wait, I forgot when that album came out, but Golden Age of Hip Hop on CD. One of the greatest albums of any genre of all time. And that's the same type of vibe I get from Young Ripper now and comics from back in the day. I got my comic books from the library. Parents, we spent a lot of time at the library. That's where I got magazines, comic books. Parents didn't order that stuff. And then I watched comics on TVs. This is a celebration. What Young Rip is doing here, I'm going to read it here for those. Thanks for joining. Busy day today. I think this is probably one of the busiest days I've had as far as going live. This is the third time I'm going live in one day, so people are not going to get the notification. I know that for sure. But going to Geeks and Gamers, I'm going to kick it off with this, then take a step back. I want to make sure I start it off with what is happening here, so everybody kind of knows. Eric July launches the Rippaverse by Eric Gerzo. Eric July is joining a revolution, and he's coming out of the gate as a general. After teasing a foray into comic books for some time, July has officially announced the Rippaverse. Ripperverse Comics, his self-created comic line. If you watch his YouTube videos, which I watch damn near every single one, probably for a year and a half now or so, or subscribe to his podcast for canon's sake. I'm going to be taking a road trip soon. I'll probably be listening to the podcast. And you should, if you haven't. Even my mother has become a fan, and I'm not joking. You've heard him talk extensively about the state of comic books today, particularly Marvel and DC. These are brands that I'm stepping away from the article here for a second. These are brands that he and many of us grew up to love. They captured our imagination, our hearts, our minds, and souls. And this is entertainment. But what I'm talking about here is more powerful than any other topic. It's more powerful than any politician. I don't care if it's local level or federal level. I don't care if it's president or city council. There is no political position that is more important than what Eric July is delving into right now. This is culture. Had nothing to do, well, nothing really directly to do with politics. Creating a parallel economy. That's what's happening here. So they've devolved from mythic storytelling to vessels for left-wing politics and social narratives, and how they've turned on their fans to such a degree that they outright insult them and tell them not to buy the books. Many fans seem to have acquiesced. If you look at the comic sales, a little petty there by Alex. And I'm not joking. I'm sorry. Many fans have, they've actually heeded those words. They're not buying the books, is what he's saying. But like a few others, July is stepping up to the plate with his money and creativity and giving hungry fans an alternative. Watch his announcement video below. I will play that in a second. What makes Eric July great is his understanding of what's frustrating so many fans, because he's one himself. In launching the Rippaverse, he's emphasizing things like canon and continuity in response to the constant retcons and reboots of established comic lore and eschewing heavy-handed political narratives or racial commentary. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is a lack of balance. But perhaps most importantly, July also pledges to show respect to his fans rather than insult them or tell anyone he doesn't want their business. Your ethnic background or genetic makeup is wholly irrelevant to us, a quote from Eric July. To those ends, he assures potential customers that he will always control Ripperverse Comics by refusing outside investors, ensuring that any outside interests don't overshadow his goals or principles. This is all self-funded. That doesn't mean July is limiting his ambition. However, he's looking to eventually grow the Rippaverse into video games, animation, maybe even live action movies. It's exciting to see someone who gets it and someone who cares take this step. Now it's up to us to support it. And that's what this is about. We're not even getting into the content of the the book yet. It's not out yet. I will be doing that. I will be doing deep dives. I will be purchasing the book. I can't wait. And doing deep dives into the story and all that. That will be great. That will be on another channel, but maybe I'll do lives here, but I'll put upload the after the fact to a different channel. Excited about that. And I did a video a while back, and it was something to the effect of something like, what do we do? How do you have impact in this social environment, the political environment that we're in right now? What can you do if you're just a person? I'm just a person. Eric July is just a person. And I talked about how we all have our different strengths, the different weaknesses. We all have a different role to play. Eric July has a role to play. Dave Smith has his role to play. You have your role to play. You have your strengths. You don't have to be able to, if you can't afford to support Eric July or buy the books or anything like that. You can tell somebody, if you know somebody who's into comic books, you can tell them. That's almost more powerful than buying it. That's what corporations look for. They look for word of mouth to turn people into promoters. So there's a lot we can do. Eric July is doing something, and that's what this is about, is creating awareness. So that's what's going on right now. 2022 has been, I think, one hell of a white pill year. One hell of a moment. We're seeing white pill moments after white pill moments. So many, there's so many white pill moments, I'm starting to make a list now because I'm losing track of them. Like, I can't lose track of the white pill moments. We had recently, there's good, like Eric July, white pill moment, good people doing good work. We've got, politically, we've got states going head to head with the federal government, which is a good thing. Federalism, for me, that's how you lead towards decentralization. Decentralization, what Eric July talks about a lot, that won't happen via the snap of your finger. It's going to happen over a gradual process of generations. Mises Caucus rising on up, still rising on up. Record low confidence in corporate media. Nobody's buying it. Polling shows that. People's actions show that. Jimmy Dore hit 1 million subs. Shout out to the populist left. Congrats to him and everybody else grinding on the populist left. White pill moment, Timcast, launching articles, hiring and working with Cassandra McDonald. So I can read articles not just from the New York Times or the Hill or the Washington Post. I can do it from Timcast. Officer Tatum recently signed a deal with Salem Radio, taking over for Larry Elder. He's just great. Rand Paul, that's one that maybe I'm overrating that one, but I love that political move he made, where he held up the Ukraine money, and he was like, I'll sign off on it, when he didn't really want to sign off on it, as long as you agree to oversight where the money goes. That's all he wanted, and it just showed the corruption. They're like, nah, we can't do that. Great. It's kind of a small moment, but for me, it was just a great moment. Michael Malice has been doing his thing, the Anarchist Handbook. He's going to come out with this white pill book. Locals and Rumbles came together. People are openly talking about national divorce in a peaceful way, and Marjorie Taylor Greene has been really rising up. There's a lot of white pill moments. What he's doing right now is it's inspiring, and that's what I'm going to end with. If you don't know Eric July, this is a dude of a lot of talent. So I'm going to go over some of the talents, some of the opinions of Eric July. Very entertaining, very smart. I'm telling you, people who are rappers, hip hop artists. Some people don't like to be called rappers. I never understood that, but the hip hop artists, rhymers, they have unique skills. I talked about this when they tried to come for Nicki Minaj, and I said, you better be careful coming for her, because she's creative. She battles. Eric July comes from that. He's cut from that same cloth. I started this show with his hip hop. He does the metal stuff. I mean, he does all this commentary. He's with Elijah Schaefer. He had he was on with You Are Here when that show was going on, with Nick Fuentes on there. So he's on with all different types of people. It's been on with Tim Pool. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be on with Tim Pool pretty soon to kind of promote his comic book. I hope he goes on again. He's versatile. He doesn't take things personally. He's not afraid to stand up. One of my most favorite moments, I'm going to go through some favorite moments of Eric July watching the show. Then I'm going to go into why the comics, it really is near to dear to my heart. And then I'm going to do a little reaction to his live stream where he announced, and I'm going to play the video of the trailer for Eric July, for the Ripperverse. Did a great marketer. I'm learning from these guys are great marketers. This is one of my favorite Eric July videos right here. This came at one of the most important moments we've had in a while in our country. He titled the video, "This only ends when you demand that it does." And you notice in the background of this video, and you'll see these for Eric July's videos, he's got Batman back there. Of course, he's got Thomas Sowell, but he's got the animated X-Men series. He's got the Joker back there. When he did the live, you'll see that later, if you can hang around. When he did the live, he took all that stuff down. So this is the only topic for the live here right now, is Rippaverse and these concepts of culture. He took all that stuff down. That time's over for him. He's like, I'm moving on to a new, my own stuff. I talked about when Elon, it looked like the Twitter deal's falling through, and I said, this might be a good thing. So all of this bastardization of comics, Superman, Batman, every single comic book character has been completely morphed into some type of an agenda. That's a bad thing, you would think. They're destroying what we grew up on and really harming it for the youth coming up. Because they have to go back to what we watched. If, it's all a matter of opinion. If you like the new stuff, nothing against you. But if they want to get stuff that to me is more quality, they got to go to that stuff. But he's starting his own stuff now. And here's Eric July in this video. This was after the Joe Biden, clearly, obviously unconstitutional OSHA law, where he was going to mandate that thing or fire people from their jobs. This was a moment to stand up. This was a moment to speak up. If you weren't going to speak up at this moment, you ain't have nothing to say, and you're irrelevant to the times right now. If this was not a moment for you, you weren't relevant. And it was a moment for young Eric July.
And here's the one that's really going to rub y'all the wrong way. I'm on a motherfucking roll right now. This one really going to rub y'all the wrong way. I think another reason why GOPers and people that call themselves conservatives are so chicken shit, because what it would have to do is force them to accept the reality that those two institutions that they worship for so long, a lot of them ain't on their side. Military and cops. The ones that's enforcing this goddamn shit. It ain't Joe Biden, man. It ain't Joe Biden that's holding a gun to your employer's head, motherfucker. He ain't gonna do shit. He can't even walk. He's losing his mind. He's not doing anything. We know who will. We know who does. If they were who you thought they were, as soon as he said that, if the military was who you thought they were, they would have been running up in that motherfucking White House and dragging him the fuck up out of there. But I've told y'all, man, that's the harsh reality. A lot of y'all gonna need to go have to learn to accept. They don't protect you, your constitution. No, they protect these politicians. And that's who they answer to. They follow their orders. Period. And the ones that wouldn't probably aren't even in the military anymore at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There is a solution here. I'm not saying it's the black period. I'm not saying it's to demoralize you. I'm actually saying the complete opposite. What I'm saying is that any leader, and this is something you can take to wherever you, because, obviously people that watch my videos, I'm not the only commentator that you watch talk about this. But look at your commentators. Look at those politicians with R's next to their name that you insist that libertarians should be supporting because, oh my God, the Democrats win when they fucking win anyway. If they aren't talking about decentralization and having an honest conversation about that, they're useless. And a fight for liberty, they're fucking useless. They serve no purpose to aid in moving this country towards a freer and more prosperous society. Bro, absolutely. As I've said, to those of you fucking weirdos who was like, oh, it's just a fucking vaccine. This is not a big deal. Just get the Is that the hill that you want to die on? Yes. 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 That's the fucking hill worth dying on. It always was. It always was the hill worth dying on. Yes. Of course. Yes. That's the hill worth dying on. Of course. Like, what do you mean?
One of the classic moments. Another classic moment for Eric July. Just little clips here. This was in regards to our military, the strength of our military. Interesting take here from him.
Essentially lost to people Vietnam. So just so we're keeping record, they've lost to rice fucking farmers, and now they've essentially lost to people in sandals and outdated equipment that now have control of your fucking equipment. Congratulations, motherfucker. Congratulations. You just watched a clip from my podcast.
That was in regards to people who say, well, we can't have a national divorce because, you know, a country like China would come in and run us over. And he's like, our military is not really doing anything right now. Here he is going hard on Black Lives Matter.
I'm thinking you wonder why? Because it was never about Black lives. The moniker was nothing but a term to get you guys, you idiot motherfuckers. And I have to be harsh with my words because I want you to feel stupid so you don't do it again. I had been covering this but when they first got on the scene, I had been covering this stuff. Like, this is who y'all rallying behind? A bunch of man-hating lesbians? What the fuck? that pop up every now and then when it's just to try to utilize some black man's life that maybe was unfortunately taken to try to push their own individual agenda. That's who you're rallying behind. Now this goes to another conversation that we can have about black community members and the fact that all the fucking leaders is a bunch of lesbian black women. That should have been a red flag for y'all, but hey, don't listen to me because of racism and self-hating. No. You guys got conned. You got it what you fucking deserve, and hopefully you learn to actually pay attention and not only where your dollar's going, but stop falling for these fools and their terminology. They do that with virtually everything. They pass some or attempt to pass some idiotic bill that is named like the anti-lynching bill. Lynching has been fucking illegal for I don't know how long, especially at the federal level. And basically it's just pumped up with a bunch of nonsense because most voters are retarded, not like they read a damn bill. You see someone vote against this anti-lynching bill, which again, lynching has already been illegal. It's just a bunch of fluff to line up their cronies. They say, oh, well, you didn't support that, therefore you must be for lynching. You're arguing with literal retards, and this is why I've said before, I said it on You Are Here, I've said it on Blaze. Y'all look at this voting shit like it's a net positive. I am trying to get people's vote to matter less because I know I'm surrounded by fucking retards.
That's one that has really stuck in my head for quite some time because that's a new concept for me. He's been talking about it. I still don't know where I fully stand on it. Looking at democracy or a representative republic, it is a very it's a concept that is something you really have to think about if you have not already been thinking about it from that angle. And we all know that Eric July has jokes. He's got hella jokes. Don't come at him sideways. That's for damn sure. You won't see me coming at him sideways. That's for damn sure.
I did respond, however, publicly, Not much. It just showed his face. Jokes aside, you need to take care of your health. If you get nothing else, if you stumble across this video or something of that nature, and you decide that you want to quote tweet me again, be sure to quote tweet this part. I need you to get in shape, right? First of all, I already know that you are not in any sort of position to be, first of all, talking to me in that matter, in that tone, because you can't do nothing about it. You too fat. Anyway, so we can't even have that discussion here. But I want you to do better for yourself. I've said this before on a serious note, that being as out of shape as you are says a lot about how you feel about yourself, that you allowed yourself to get into that position. I want you to have some self-respect. I want you to have some dignity. So I'll tell you what, this is what we're going to do. Just start. You can start this today. All of that confusion that you have, certainly in regards to me, let's turn that into some positive energy and just do a few fucking jumping jacks, something hot knees, something. We just got to get you moving first, okay, Blob? We got to get you moving first, and once we get you moving first, we'll start losing pounds. You know, we can get on this diet, and I mean this sincerely, Movie Blob. If you message me directly and you want some be it advice in the athletic space, if you certainly in the weight loss space, I will give that to you of no charge, because I hate to see people, especially disrespectful people, not taking care of themselves. One, again, that's not good. Two, you're not in a position to be talking to me in that tone. You're just not. You're not athletic enough, right? There's a certain, I got height requirements, like for a ride or something. See, there's athletic requirements for someone to be talking to me in that tone. I mean, true athleticism. I'm not talking about athleticism in terms of a person that just is able to lift a couple of weights or something like that, or a bodybuilder. No, I mean true athleticism. Someone that has the mobility, that they have actual legitimate strength. They could jump, they could run. See, there's a certain standard that I have for people that are going to be taken serious when they disrespect me, and you're not even close to that level of athleticism to be talking to me in that manner. But I want to give you a chance. I want you to get to that point. Not for me, but for yourself, man, because being a fat motherfucker is not something that you should strive for. That's bad. That's not good. Think about it, man. You're cutting certainly days off of your life, man. That's not what you want to be doing. So aside from the other dumb shit it is that you said, what do we got to do to get Movie Blob to start moving his fat ass around? If y'all can get that information to me, let's make it happen. And let's turn this negative energy that he has to some positive energy, and let's turn him into a fucking athlete of some sort. Also, you can never, ever forget. I can't believe I almost forgot the most important part of this whole ordeal, and that is your hydration, preferably with spring water. You need to add that into the mix, and then maybe you won't have fucking diabetes.
I put the more you know on the end of it. So some dude came at him sideways and he tried to turn it into the exercise thing. Why does this matter? Hopefully the audio's not echoing anymore. I got something where I'm testing it now, so it just takes me a second to catch it up. But why is this important? Just like Andrew Breitbart said, culture. He's always had this vision. This is nothing new. This is what he said about culture.
When I personally, though, talk about culture, what I mean is the things that you are basically involved in that are non-political. Where conservatives lose and where they will continue to lose is that, and it's the same place where libertarians lose, and that is they act like culture isn't even a damn thing. They act like it's not even a thing. It's more of an afterthought, and everything is about ideas and politics and stuff like that, and that in itself is going to be enough. See, what Democrats were smart enough to do is Democrats played the long game. They got pretty much every control of every sector that you can potentially think of in which you see the actual cultural stuff come into fruition. So whether it be in entertainment, they have that on lock. Sports on lock. They have obviously your public education system. So all these new youngsters, they have that on lock. All of that sort of stuff, which Republicans have either been complicit or they've neglected.
So let's talk about what's happening with the state of entertainment real quick in comic books. This was somebody just some random dude I saw put this on here. He was like, if you have kids, kind of watch out what they see on Netflix. I don't know if you saw this. They have a Representation Matters collection. And this is kind of the state of entertainment. It's a lot different than what I'm 44. It's a lot different than what I grew up with. That's for sure.
This is the first place.
This is what they're putting on my kids' Netflix.
Truly be myself. I'm trans, Norma.
Get the fuck out of here.
This is the first place.
This is what they're putting on my kids' Netflix.
Truly be myself. I'm trans, Norma.
Get the fuck out of here.
Now, I don't have a problem with that. They can go ahead and do that. What Eric July is providing is an alternative. So I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to do that. If you want to do that, do that. And if you want to consume it, consume it. But we don't have many alternatives. You might have seen this. This was making the rounds, 6.5 million views now. Baymax, one of the most bizarre, we only have 27 seconds, but it's one of the most bizarre 27 seconds I have ever seen in a children's show.
Excuse me, which of these products would you recommend?
Oh, well, these are the tampons I usually use.
Thank you.
I prefer pads. They're more comfortable for me.
Thank you.
I always get the ones with wings.
Thank you.
Get them scented and bleach-free if you can.
Thank you.
Yo, my daughter loves these.
Thank you.
These might be easier if it's her first period.
These
are really environmentally friendly.
I don't even know what to say about that clip. When you look at it, we have had characters. One of the most famous ones is Miles Morales. And they just use this guy. This is the Peter Darker. This is the black and Puerto Rican, I think it is, Spider-Man. And instead of creating a new character, they just use him, create him as the Spider-Man, as Thor. Then you put your Jordans on him. You put the rainbow there. It's just pure pop propaganda. It's basically the people who are controlling Joe Biden. It's like the same mentality fed to people who like comic books. It's literally all it is. So there is a market right now for something different. I will have to say, when I grew up with different stuff. One of my favorite shows, again, not good or bad. If you don't like it, you like it. Doesn't matter. Just sharing. Was the Batman the Animated Series. One of the best cartoons, one of the best animated series I've ever seen, and they did not dumb down material for kids.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it!
This is Clayface versus Batman, classic matchup. One of my favorite episodes. They reran, it was in syndication, reran a lot of these. I used to do homework while watching these Batman episodes. Still remember it. It's very nostalgic. Excellent stuff.
Look at the light. Look at what you used to be. No. Turn them off. You can't play those roles again. Let me help you find a cure. No! Take it, God! Make him stop haunting me!
So this was Clayface when he was shape-shifting and changing. Then there was the episode where he forgot who he was, so he lost his memory. What's up, Ray? Talking about Batman, the animated series, and the Ripperverse from Eric July. That's a classic episode. And then this episode here was when he found out about not found out, but was reminiscing about his upbringing. They had touching episodes. They had fight scenes. And man, they didn't force feed any type of race stuff to you. And that just wasn't a thing. They had people of different backgrounds, representation, however, but it wasn't something that was force fed. Same with X-Men, the animated series. So now you bring in Eric July, and he's got his comic book coming, and that's where I think you can say he got his inspiration. Is he talked about these cartoons in the 90s as well, and now he's got his own stuff going on. Let me go to Eric July and then, or the Rippaverse. If you go, it's Rippaverse. So he has a new account on. I thought I was following this. Wow. Oh, I follow too many people, so I'll follow it when I can. My follow ratio is off. Here's his video to welcome everybody to the Ripperverse. Very well done. Very respectful. Very hype.
I'm Eric July, founder, owner, and writer. Welcome to the Ripperverse. The Ripperverse is the result of a comic book lifer that wanted to be a part of the solution instead of always griping about the problem. Now, don't get me wrong, this was always a part of my aspirations. However, the current climate...
This animation is cold right here. So I'm trying to show the screen now so he's giving you a teaser of the animation. One of the big things you want to see, well, what's the vibe? What is it going to look like? This is my favorite one right here. That looks cold right there because it reminds me a lot of the old 90s style, but updated. So he's giving you, so that's his new symbol there. And then he's going to go through, as you go through it, I'm going to go back and play it. But I just want to show some of the animation here. This is really cool stuff. So let me go ahead and play it, then I'll come back to the animation.
Instead of always griping about the problem. Now, don't get me wrong, this was always a part of my aspirations. However, the current climate certainly sped things up. You've watched some of your favorite comic book characters be bastardized to the point to where they're completely unrecognizable. They're just used as career stepping stones for a lot of writers that don't care about the lore. Some even despise their fans. Those are people that just want to tell stories that represent their social political views, even if they don't make sense for the characters that they're writing. And of course, these mega corporations that control these properties don't exactly make it easy for you to get in and understand what's canon. So maybe it's time for something new. We are a comic book company first and foremost that will never be forgotten no matter how big this venture gets. And we are guided by a set of principles known as the Ripperverse ethic. You will find this on a page in every single book that we release, and it's a set of standards that we certainly want you to hold us to. There are three main things that we will always emphasize. Number one, respect the customer. We aren't owed your dollar, but we love to have you as longtime supporters. It's going to be up to us to keep you interested and invested. Now, anytime there's passion involved, there's going to be those conflicts, but we'll respect you. So as long as you respect us, it's all about reciprocity. Our second point of emphasis is canon and continuity. This is an ever-expanding universe. There's going to be many of characters that will be introduced. But when you buy a book from us, you own a piece of history. It matters. These events will not be erased by way of time travel or some multiversal aspect. And number three, a comprehensive timeline. No matter when you jump into this space, we want to make it easy for you to get caught up on some characters that you're interested in, so we're going to keep the reboots to a minimum. Now don't worry, we know that picking up the pieces is part of the fun, so we're not going to exactly hold your hand. And while I personally value liberty,
We're not going to beat you over the head with on-the-nose current politics and current narratives that will completely contradict what it is that we're trying to do here. So whether you're into our main character in our first book, Isam, or you're into Yaira, or you're interested in all of them, will certainly have you as a customer. Your ethnic background or genetic makeup is wholly irrelevant to us. Now, previously being part of comic book fandoms myself, I understand the importance of them. We'll do our jobs to preserve the sanctity on the business end, and we hope you will help us preserve a more healthy and thriving fandom. If we manage to do that, we're going to be very competitive in this market, and we're going to make our mark on this industry. We're not going to be perfect. Errors will be made, but we won't let that stop us from being great. So visit Rippaverse.com, where we have our own unique store that is tailor-made for our audience. A lot of our stuff will be released in campaign format with limited edition items, and once they're gone, they're gone. We'll be making books that expand across many different genres, so I'm very confident that we'll have something that is right for you in a series that you'll make your favorite. And one last thing. I started this company with no external investors, and that's something that I like to remain true. Sure, we want to expand in many different avenues, video games, animation, maybe even live action movies, but not if it means selling off assets. We only answer to the customer. We don't want to make the same mistake as the other guys.
Hard not to get hype over that. Bishop, great comment here. Disney, DC, etc. They want the fan to hate everything you loved as a child. The purpose is to erase the past and force feed you into their new future. So many different strengths, or the power that comes, that they get strength from erasing your path. Here's his website. You go to the website, sign up just for the notification. Monday it goes live, so you can go in and buy. If you want to buy a book, I think he said it's something like $30. Not too bad for 100. This is not like, just a 20-page comic book. It's a 100-page, I think, hardcover book he's got to release. Can't wait to get it and see how, I might read it with my kids too. They get just like I grew up with comics at the library, they're getting them too. I want to go back to the trailer here, and I want to go through some of the pictures that I liked. So let me go through here with no audio on it. The first one was my favorite one, and this sounds like this is Isam. Yeah, you see it in the background. Isam is the name. Like that's a dope drawing there. And then you go in here. I like this stuff here. I like this. I don't know why I like that. That's some vintage. That's vintage style right there. Here you go. See some more artwork. Very diverse group of characters we're seeing here. And then he talked about he will have this in every book. I think this is respecting the customer. All his kind of the kind of driving force behind this in every book to remind you that's what he's doing. That's the number one thing, respect the customer. Some more artwork right here. Interested to see what kind of power or what that is going on over here. You see there's like this green outline on the woman there. Here's some more. Ooh, this is nice. Now, I used to try to draw. I mean, this is this type of passion I used to have with comics. Used to try to draw. I would trace them at first and then try to draw them. I actually drew some decent ones way back in the day, but it took me forever. It wasn't like a natural talent. It literally took hours. Good. This is some good-looking stuff. He got some real. I'm not a comic book expert here, but artists or to draw this. It looks good. I really like this picture here. I don't know what superpower this is, but we'll find out probably Monday. Or we'll find out more Monday. Get a little bit of Grand Theft Auto vibes from it, from that one. And Grand Theft Auto has great imagery. So there you go, Ripperverse. I have one thing to add here. I believe it was at 2:55. Rippa made this comment.
On the nose current politics and current beat you over the head with on the nose current politics and current narratives that will completely contradict what. And while I personally value liberty, we're not going to beat you over the head with on the nose current politics and current narratives that will completely contradict what it is that we're trying to do here. So
I would say that I do want to see those concepts in the comic books. So I think what he's saying there is he's not going to be just doing like, you know how Law and Order, if you ever watched Law and Order back in the day, they actually just took hot topics like they would have taken. I think it came back, but I only watched the old ones. Like Roe v. Wade. They would do a show that was not exactly Roe v. Wade, but you could tell it was a play off of that. Or the bodega incident where the guy sliced up the other guy who tried to come at him. They would do that on Law and Order, but they would twist it a little bit. I think he's saying he's not gonna do like spot on like that, but I want to see. I think the true issue is not putting politics in the in the comics. I don't think that's the problem. The problem is that it's all one-sided. The problem is there's no balance with it. So if you don't know, Eric July is an anarcho-capitalist, or he's a libertarian, but he's an ANCAP. So I want to see. I want to see those ideas of anarcho-capitalism in the comic books. I don't want to see a guy, looks like him with a hat and the beard and everything. That's a self-insert. So the ideas of anarcho-capitalism could come across through a character that doesn't look like him and in a way that he would never say it. There's nothing wrong with that. I actually want to see that. The problem is I want to see the pros and cons. That's what X-Files, the animated series, really tackled some of these things. Batman did too, but it was indirect, and I think that's what he's talking about. He'll continue that legacy of handling these issues indirectly. But I want to see libertarian ideas in there, and I want to see the positives and the negatives of the libertarian ideas in the different storytelling and the lines, and the positives and negatives of being a zombie or a corporate shill or whatever position you have. It's MAGA. That would be cool, I think. So I think he will do that in a bigger, more macro way that's not in your face and doesn't dominate the storyline. It's not, the point isn't to get those things across. That's what we're seeing now also. It's not just that there's no balance. It's like it's created to get that ideology, just like propaganda. So Bishop was talking about Marvel. Ray Studio said, I view myself a bit like a Trump Teddy Roosevelt capitalist. I like that line. Marvel was all about social, cultural issues of its time back in the 70s and 80s. Yes, it did touch those. And I think he would know that way more than I would. And I think that's what he means, is that he's going to keep it true to that. And I think he's hiring writers who really wrote some of that stuff back in the day. We'll see who's on the team. I don't think it has been fully announced yet. Ray says Professor X and Magneto are based on MLK and Malcolm X. I think actually Young July refutes that. I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable enough to know. But yeah, whether they are or not, the point is well taken. You've got two sides. That's the balance. That's great. I think that's the problem with the politics in sports, ESPN. Because I was looking at it and they were talking about Roe v. Wade on ESPN, and I was like, man, that's why I don't watch ESPN anymore. But then there was a UFC fighter who was talking about that E. Island, the guy who unlived himself allegedly with the case with all the very horrible acts, and very famous people who are being hidden. And this UFC fighter was talking about it openly, and that's social, that's kind of political, and I didn't mind it. So I'm like, it's not really the ESPN politics that I mind, it's that they don't have both sides or all sides. That's what I don't like. Ray says Stan Lee even confirmed it. So that's, yeah, I'm not familiar, so I will have to go with what you're saying on that one. But the point still taken is like, you've got these two competing ideas of the world. And in the end, no one really wins. There's no, to mind, the story just keeps going. There's no like, oh, this ideology always wins or that one doesn't. That's the cool part about it. So you can see the excitement. You can see why it's exciting. And I'm going to end talking about the impact. So it's not even out yet. And if you go to Twitter and follow Eric July, he retweeted some of these things. So he's talking about the Ripperverse, full site, book reveal, pre-order campaign goes live. He's got all that there. And if you go to his Twitter site, you see him retweeting people, giving them shout outs and inspirational type of stuff. Let's look. See him retweeting. Let's look at. I'm going to pull up the live where he actually was talking about it, just to give you a taste of the energy that he had. It was just a great live. Just give you a touch of it here, and then I'm going to go with the kind words.
Are you sure?
And inspiration that a lot of people had. So he did this. He kind of did this stealth. Nobody knew. He gave some hints. He did some hints on Twitter and stuff, but nobody knew that he was going to exactly do this. So look at this good marketing here. He's doing Rippaverse stuff, and he's going to do he changed his set. He took down the Marvel and DC stuff. He's going to put his own stuff on there, probably starting Monday. I wouldn't be surprised. And then he did it more personal. His face is closer to the camera. It's a different angle. It represents a new age for him. He's got the Rippa design and everything.
What is up, everybody? Welcome. You know by now that the Ripperverse website has been partially launched. And I have a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about in that regards, and we'll get to that certainly in a minute. But it's finally here, and I cannot tell you how antsy I was to just to get the shit out. Y'all need to understand, man. I know a lot of folks were looking forward to it. They were talking about it all the time. Hey, man, you said that it was coming, all of this. And it was very, very difficult for me to obviously evade a bunch of questions and really not give so much detail because I knew what we were building here. And that was it was a difficult thing for me to do as people talked about it or wanted me to talk about it, right?
He's got a project he's working his butt off on. He knows it looks good. It's getting there. And he's like, I don't want to give too much information. He is a fan of the American style of comics that we grew up with. I think he talks about it right around here at the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, he got someone. He didn't go get some motherfucker off the street. You know, I got somebody that was fucking for real. Like, I got someone that's been like, he knows what he's fucking doing. You saw a couple of the design of the characters. I saw some of the comments. People was like, yeah, this shit is, like, I love these designs. It reminds me of old shit that I got into back in the Gap. And I'm like, dude, that's what it was about. That was why I'm doing what I look, I believe, and I'm not like other people. I know there's some people that have completely given up on basically the American scene in the entertainment space, and for righteous reasons, just reasons. I totally understand that. It makes all the sense in the world. You've been fed bullshit. You've been fed crap. You've been given stuff by creatives, I use that term loosely, that despise you. They tell you how much you suck. They don't like who you voted, the fact that you voted for a person that they don't like. I know that you see that and you want to turn off, like, completely.
And he's not just talking about, you know, right now he could be talking about Trump or something like that, for example. But with him launching his book, he's coming with the standpoint, I don't care if you voted for Biden or whoever else. It's irrelevant, is what he's saying.
And I get that. I know if people look to the Japanese who have filled that void for so many people, and I totally respect and I understand that. However,
so if you want to learn marketing, I'm trying to learn marketing to get better at marketing from people like him and reading about it. His marketing here, he's doing campaigns. Comic books are a very specific type of industry and market, so this doesn't work for everything, but he's doing campaigns where you can get the book no matter what. He'll just reprint more, but he's going to do limited item type of rollout here as well.
We just have to legitimize the spending, right? We have to make that make sense. So you'll get that Monday. You'll see everything that we have to offer. We have some stretch goals. You'll be, again, it's public, it's transparent. It has even though we're not crowdfunding, you still get to see how much money we bring in. You get to see how many people purchase each perk, all of that shit. I love the transparency that crowdfunding brought. And even though I knew I wasn't going to I didn't want to crowdfund, I did want to take that idea of what crowdfunding brought to the industry, and that's transparency. So I wanted to show you that transparency element, and yeah, it's all yours, man. So good luck. We'll see how that number runs.
He talks about here, if he was an emotional guy, he would be emotional.
The only thing about that is that thankfully it's a great time to do it. We had that paper shortage. We're kind of starting to get over that hump with that, and that kind of pushed a lot of even what we were doing. But that's basically we're about to be over that hump for a little bit. We should be fine. Your book year is out of the way, so we should have a lot of opportunities certainly there. So what that means is that if we do, we have on-hand inventory, but I'll see the trajectory. The minute that we see the trajectory is like, oh shit, it's so many people. This item is selling like hotcakes. Bam, we go get it printed. We go get it reprinted. Simple. Except the book. The book, no, the book will print in a new cover. But for the other items, all that shit that's in that campaign, that's why it's not limited. You can get 50 of them bitches if you want to. That's it. The only thing that's limited in terms of purchase, per purchase, you can't get 5 of them, is that thing that's limited quantity that I told y'all about. So yeah. But like I said, man, I thank you guys so much for the support. It's 2,000 of you motherfuckers in here right now. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Thank you so much. It really, I'm not that emotional of a dude. I know I kind of come off a little rough around the edges, but it does mean, trust me, it means a lot. You know what I mean? I mean that sincerely. This is my dream. This is my baby. This is something that I'm doing, and I spend a lot of time, effort, and money in it. But this is if I had a career. I know I'm living 15 careers right now, okay? But if I had one and I had to select what I would want to be if I only could do one, it would be this. It would be being a comic book creative. That would be what I feel like that's my calling right there. So this is, this is important to me because this is something that I thought I wasn't going to be able to do until I was 40-something years old. Thankfully, we had a lot of growth. I spent a lot of money based upon that growth because I pocketed it all, and we were able to make something like this happen.
So you can watch how other people move. He made his money from different he, like he said, 15 jobs. He does a lot. Made that money, saved the money, had goals, set goals. So he could have taken that money and bought cars. I think I heard him in one of his lives. You'll find me in his live very often, talking about how he has an older car. He could have got a newer car. He could have got all kinds of fancy things. I mean, he saved that money for this. How much did he spend? I think he talks about the 1 hour, 12-minute mark. I want you to hear what he says, how much he's spending.
Oh, it's a dirty job, but you just keep rocking, keep hitting the deadlines, keep doing your thing. I'm going to keep you paid. I pay better than them anyway. That's it. Like, and this is why it's so hilarious to hear these fucking weirdos get all pissy at me for talking down on corporate comics, and these damn comic pros are broke as fuck, broke as shit. And I'm sitting here as a startup company paying more money than Marvel's paying their own fucking artists, and that's the institution that y'all want to pay, y'all want to protect. Go for it, fucking go for it. Whatever works for you, I guess. Whatever works, I guess. All right, let's continue on. We got to fly through these. So many questions. Top Shelf TV. This feels like when Image Comics came out. All right. Says with a Top Shelf with a 2. Appreciate that. James says with whoa. $200. 200. What the fuck? James, he says, so hype, just a little more to help recoup those fees, my man. Can't wait. Like I said, we announced this yesterday, I think, on the show. We are on Operation Recoup Fees. That's step 1.
That's with any business venture, especially with the way he did it. He put the money up front. He's going to say how much he spent pretty soon here.
We do have a campaign goal. We're going to destroy that fucking campaign goal. It's going to be nuts. But we're going to destroy that campaign goal, but we're going to see how high it goes. But we got fees to recoup. Operation Recoup Fees. Because holy shit, I spent $200,000 and the funds just kept piling up. I spent $28,000 on my warehouse for my warehouse racking system and the equipment alone. Holy shit. Operation Recoup Fees. That's step 1.
If you didn't hear that, $200K. And that's not to get into his. This is to show this is serious, man. He's doing a serious startup, serious company. And what is he going to do? And you might say, well, why, he's got that and he's going to be successful. You want to help the culture war? That's how you do it. Ray Studio says he's going to start collecting Eric's comics. I am as well. I've never collected any comics in my life. I'm hyped to collect these. And he says, well, what do we do? If he's successful, what is he going to do with that success?
So appreciate that. We got Benny with a 7. Canadian says, I don't care for comics, but I'm going to buy all your comic products because you're a cool dude. Benny, appreciate your support, man, and be careful out there in Canada. We got My Nerdy Home again with a 5, says, this is just the beginning. We are just getting started, so hold on to your butts. We are just getting started. Like, we just getting this thing going. So if y'all thought that, I put a lot of energy in, I did. But this just, the work actually is about to start. This is launching. Spent a lot of money, did a lot of work, but, we got more shit to do. We got more shit to do. Because then what? Like, we make $1 million revenue or some shit. Now what? We get back to work. Simple. We get back to work.
You see, you wonder why people support guys like Tim Pool, Eric July. They're not taking the money and going to buy some necklace. This dude's wearing like a tank top. Like he's not taking them. He's putting the money into something to help the bigger picture. Here is the culture war, and I'm gonna do this last clip here. I think it's at 38 minutes where he talks about inspiration, and that's where I'm gonna leave it out. This is an inspiration.
I see this. Holy shit! Yeah, we're not playing around. We're not fucking playing around. When I talk about parallel economy, and I talk about us being like an alternative to the people that have now been taken down from our wall, I'm for real. Like, to act like we can't do this is bullshit. That's bullshit. We absolutely can do it, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. This black pill bullshit is that ain't for we're not trying to hear that shit. These people can be competed with. They can be dethroned. They can be. It just takes effort.
The black pill he's talking about is, he says his goal is to take down, competitive, in the business arena, take down Marvel and DC. And people are like, man, you crazy. That's the black pill he's talking about. He's like, he doesn't have room in his head for that black pill. He's like, we can do it.
It takes time, of course. The American comic book industry, as you know it right now, was not built in a day. It didn't happen. It's going to take a lot of work. But it doesn't mean that the work is, like, not worth doing. It's absolutely worth doing. Fuck these black pill son of bitches, man. We're going to do it.
I don't care what endeavor you're in. You have to be realistic about what you're doing and how much money you're spending. You know, the budget has to work out, all that kind of stuff. But you're always going to have doubters. Make your plan. Make sure your plan makes sense. And don't have room for black pill.
We're going to fucking do it. Ironically enough, you remember that heifer that we had the other day that we debated on here?
This reminds me of Jordan. They used to say Jordan would take any slight, disrespect and just use it as the biggest motivation. Kobe Bryant as well. He's just talking about some random person, and he uses this stuff, in my opinion, as motivation.
Who talked all that shit. Yeah, I knew you were talking shit. Said that this was never going to be a thing. Like, I'm just sitting there pulling my audience's leg saying that I'm going to create a comic book company. Yeah, now what, motherfucker? It's right around, and you see how legit it is, too. We not fucking around. We not playing around, bro. This is for real. Like, I am coming by here to like leave my imprint on this fucking market. I am not fucking around. This is not a side project. It's not a side gig. It's not some little shit that I want to do one little comic book, make a little money. No, I'm here to take the fuck over. I'm not here to fuck around. I'm here to be competitive, man. I'm here to be legitimately competitive. How people do these videos I want people doing that on my shit. This ain't for fuck.
He used to do these in-depth, he still has them on his channel, in-depth reviews. And if you don't know about comics and you want to know a storyline, I've gone on a couple because I've talked to my kids about them. Like, oh, I forgot what happened here. But he has like the whole timeline and goes in depth. And he's like, he doesn't have time. Like, he doesn't do that anymore. He has his own thing, and he will take some time to tear down Marvel and DC, the competition. When it makes sense.
But I mean, yeah, it's for fun in the sense that I want it to be fun for you, but I'm not fucking around. That was never an option, man. That was never an option. If I'm gonna spend literally hundreds of thousands, that's in multiple hundreds of dollars, what the fuck I'm doing that for? A side project? Hell no. Shit on you in this economy especially? Fuck no. So yeah, we ain't playing. And I'm glad that people can finally see that because they saw the trailer, they got a glimpse of the art, saw some of the characters that we got coming up, and I just can't wait for you guys to get it. It's a good read too. It's 96 pages, baby. We again hitting the ground running. We had a tall task here, man, to have this book not just be for this character who you'll learn more about, but it had to be the launching pad for the company. So how do I do that? How do I do that? How do I launch something?
See, he's giving you great insight. He even said he's going to do another YouTube channel about more like the inside business type stuff, almost giving you the blueprint, but he's giving you the idea of a marketer. I'm doing this thing, and I think he's going to talk about here about how some people said, well, don't do a 96-page book. That's not the best bang for your buck. Just release it in like 20 pages. So you can do 20 pages and you can do that 5 times and maybe make more money with 5 different campaigns. But for the launch, this gets me more excited than a 20-page book. So that's marketing.
I want this to be this character's book, his first book, but it's a universe launching thing. And I think we hit that sweet spot. When you guys will see it, you'll see some of the characters that got introduced in this story, some of them that I mentioned in the trailer. I can't wait for you to get more to see that and all that. There's plenty of fucking material that you're going to be able to get. And like I said, because it's not crowdfund, you get the good feeling of knowing that if you order it Monday, you will have it by next month. Like you will have it or next month. You will have it next month. We're not doing this next year shit. You will have the shit next month. If you get in early. So thanks so much for you guys' support, man. I cannot say enough how even my team who helped with the website, everybody's stoked. This is how I knew we had something special.
So you can tell he's hyped about it. I'm going to end with going on his Twitter timeline. The power of inspiration, the power of, he can inspire somebody to do something else, something different. I've had crazy ideas in the past. I actually launched this in the past, a website where people who do college radio, grunge and hip hop and noise and classical, like DJs, could sign up on the website and just post a link, and you'd have one place. Because right now, all over the country, there's thousands of people doing hip hop radio shows in small college towns. I used to do one, so I used to know. And I used to jump around. And I'm like, wow, this show is great. This is great. This is great. How great would it be if I could look and see throughout the whole United States or the world how many people are doing a music show on noise? Believe it or not, noise is a genre. So who knows if I could get to that point. But the reason I bring that up is he's an inspiration. Save your paper, grind, work hard. That's why he talks about the time, effort, and money spent. That's not to flex. That's just to say this is for real. Let's look at some of the responses. This just came out about an hour ago. Eric July says, thanks to you all for the support. We're about at 11,500 signups. So that's just the email list. So now the next point is, how many of them can I convert over to buying it? He says, I'll be doing a stream tomorrow and we'll chat some more about it. These streams are going to be huge for him promotional wise. He's doing it all out. This is the article I read from Geeks and Gamers. Let's see here. Somebody tried to knock him because he only had 1,000 signups, but that was within the first hour. He had 1,000 signups. Now he has, over 11,000. Somebody was like, I need that. They like the artwork here. I like that one too. That's dope. My favorite one is the ISOM, the first ISOM, but that one's dope too. So there's people here. He's like, had to watch it again. The trailer. I've watched the trailer probably 5 times already. Had to watch it again. Smiles, chills, and a solid sense of we will win. Ripperverse. Pump for this. And what does that mean? We will win. It's just, I think it's a populist message. Common people over corporations. This is damn inspiring. That's it. That's the tweet. That's what I'm going to end it on. Thanks for stopping by. Let's bring back the 90s Truth. Truth always dropping the bombs. Thanks for stopping by. Truth is the truth. You live up to that name. Eric July, Sean says, Hail stuck. Eric July is the man. Yes, Eric July is the dude. Very likable dude. As how, I wouldn't say he's abrasive, but like he said, he's rough around. He'll come at people. If you come at him sideways, he will come back. But he's still like a real likable dude. He's just a unique guy, man. Very talented. Great. So thanks a lot for stopping by. I'm going to leave out with one of my favorite July songs. And I'm really more excited about getting the book and then breaking it down. I'm going to be doing that and uploading to my other channels. I've got so many channels. I'll put this one in the chat. But the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want to put all of it on this channel. Maybe I should. But I'll give you the link to the other channel. It's called Positive Plus Some. And on this channel, I'm going to just do all these mostly culture stuff, non-political stuff. So yeah, Eric July, much respect. I'm going to leave out with one of my favorites. It's just a little. This song from him is actually, I think it was just like a little trailer type song for him. It wasn't, and he made these songs all available for people to use. Copyright, no copyright on it, just to spread the word. That's good marketing. So if you use them in your YouTube videos, you're not going to get a strike or anything from them, or not even just a strike. Just there's not going to be a claim. So really good idea, smart stuff from him. But yeah, this whole live, if you're just coming in, this whole live was just about Eric July. Go to Rippaverse.com. I used the heart when I did a thumbnail for this. In my first thumbnail, I used the hard ER. I was like, Ripperverse. It's Rippaverse. RIPP. Let me go back to the website real quick if you're just coming in. Rippaverse.com. RIPPAVERSE.com. That's where I've signed up to get notifications. So he said it's going to come out about 9 a.m. Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern time is what I believe. If you want to make sure, go holla at Eric July if you're unsure, if you want to make sure about that. But I believe that's when. One of my favorite Eric July songs is called Non-Playable. That's what I'm going to leave you out with. And as usual, thanks a lot for stopping by. I've used this to close out videos many a times.
You are only old non-aggression. Once that lesson sets in, you'll see a session where you got an affection for no progression, regression. The best don't obsess about oppression. Possess weapons, mind and body protect when defense is necessary. Appendix carry. This will vary. Nothing is foolproof, but fools fool you. So do you and lose dudes that want you to lose. So hacks can use you as a stat, but they have been wrong. You are not defined by just your skin tone. So why attach yourself and piggyback the wealth you didn't earn or lack yourself? I'm telling you to own up to your own success and failures. It's a reason why these sleazy guys have you focused on all the bad news, hoping that it is tattooed in your mind that you will wince without assistance, and now you're dealing with others' experiences. You have no identity of your own, and you're defined by everybody else. No sense of self, hollow and inept, cause you have nothing of your own, and you're defined by everybody else. No sense of self, hollow and inept. I'm not undermining nobody's struggle, and I'm not saying life's a box of chocolate or carnivals. I like to weigh in cause you might have got what you bargained for. I hope you take it in a lot, this ain't an argument for. Part of you gotta be smart enough to know why you partying up. Your art really sucks, the audience starting you up. Chamber of echoes ringing, same brain with names changing, hearing opposing opinion and you malfunction. Characters non-playable, that's why you hate to move. And when you try to save a dude, they get to hating you. They don't want to be saved, but one of these days someone will say they told you so. You're gonna get played, but that's your business. Don't get your wig split acting an idiot. Back up a tidbit, this ain't a diss, kid, so list this. I wish this misfit would get pissed enough to get it, but he mad at all the wrong folk because he missed it. Yo, look, this ain't for sing-alongs. I don't want you to get it wrong. I know what you was tripping on. You've been lied to your whole life, fool. The right to beside you. That's why you always focus on what the white dudes do. Fist in the air, screaming loud and being proud. But you are going through the motions. What you leaving out? What have you been accomplishing? Did something get done within a month? You've been marching for the fun of it. The only thing you got is exercise. Wise up and trying to get your eyes up. It's like an exorcist, size up. Existential, he essentially has no mind of his own, and that's why he's an NPC.